The house always wins. But why?
In the glowing heart of Las Vegas, under flickering neon lights and the clamor of slot machines, billions are made and lost in a single night. But have you ever wondered, what exactly is gambling? Is it just a game of luck, or a massive economic machine that fuels governments, industries, even entire cities? Today, we dive deep into the seductive world of gambling. From ancient dice games in Roman taverns to billion-dollar betting apps on your phone, this isn't just a story about risk. It's about power, psychology, and money. Gambling isn't new. In fact, it's as old as civilization itself. The earliest records, ancient China, around 2300 BC. They used tiles to play chance-based games. And in ancient Rome, soldiers rolled dice between battles, sometimes wagering their entire pay. Even the word casino comes from Italy, originally meaning a small house for pleasure. But over time, that small house turned into mega empires. Today, casinos aren't just for entertainment. They are financial ecosystems with business models, margins, and very clear winners. And here's the kicker. The odds are never in your favor. Because in the world of gambling, the house always wins. A trillion-dollar illusion. Behind the flashing lights and glamorous shows lies a global industry that generates over $500 billion a year. Yes, you heard that right. From casinos on the Vegas Strip, to mobile apps in your pocket, to national lotteries run by governments, gambling has become one of the most profitable and controversial industries in the modern world. Let's break it down. Casinos alone raked in around $250 billion globally last year. Online gambling? It's growing fast, worth more than $100 billion, and expected to double by 2030. Sports betting surged thanks to apps like DraftKings and Bet365. Especially after it was legalized in the US in 2018. Lotteries, often run by governments, collect hundreds of billions in ticket sales, with a small fraction actually going to winners. But here's what's even more surprising. The biggest winners aren't gamblers, they're governments and corporations. In countries like the UK, Italy, Singapore, and even the United States, taxes from gambling are major revenue streams. In Nevada, the casino industry supports over 400,000 jobs and contributes nearly $8 billion in state revenue. So next time someone says gambling is just a game, tell them it's a business, and one of the most efficient ones in the world, because it profits regardless of who wins or loses.
When governments bet on gambling.
It might surprise you, but many governments love gambling. Why? Because while gamblers take chances, governments cash guaranteed checks. Here's how it works. Every time someone places a bet, at a casino, online, or even buying a lottery ticket, a portion of that money goes straight to the state. It's called sin tax, the same logic used with tobacco and alcohol. In Singapore, the government taxes gambling heavily, but in return, it controls and regulates the market tightly. In Macau, over 80% of public revenue comes from its massive casino sector. In the US, more than 30 states now allow some form of legal gambling. Many rely on it to fund education, public safety, and infrastructure. Let's take an example. The New York State Lottery generated $10 billion last year. Only $3 billion went to education. The rest? Admin costs, retailer cuts, and, of course, state profits. So, here's the paradox. Governments publicly warn against gambling addiction, but they quietly collect billions from it. It's a game of public health versus public revenue, and more often than not, revenue wins. The dark side of the deal. For every lucky jackpot winner, there are millions of quiet losers. Gambling addiction, clinically known as compulsive gambling, is a recognized psychological disorder, and it's growing. In the US alone, over 6 million adults are estimated to suffer from gambling addiction. Globally, that number may exceed 30 million. and rising fast with the rise of mobile betting. But what does addiction look like? Maxed out credit cards, homes remortgaged, then lost, families torn apart, entire savings accounts gone in a weekend. And the worst part? Gambling addiction often hides in silence. There's no smell, no visible needle, no bruises, just debt, shame, and denial. And it's not just personal loss, it's economic. A single gambling addict can cost society over $10,000 per year in lost productivity, healthcare, and criminal justice costs. Multiply that by millions, and you get billions drained from national economies every year. Governments may earn from gambling taxes, but they also pay the price in social services, rehab centers, broken homes, and untreated trauma. Because in this game, not all losses are financial. Betting on the poor. Gambling is often sold as hope, but who buys that hope? Not the wealthy, not the financially secure, but the poor. Statistics show that low-income households spend up to 10 times more of their income on gambling than wealthier groups. In some areas, it's even higher. Why? Because when you have nothing to lose, even a small chance to win feels like everything. Lotteries flood poor neighborhoods with billboards promising instant fortune. Ads are designed to prey on desperation, not logic. Betting shops and slot machines are disproportionately placed in low-income communities. In the U.S., lottery ticket sales are highest in states with the lowest education and income levels. In the U.K., fixed-odds betting terminals, dubbed the crack cocaine of gambling, were overwhelmingly located in the most deprived districts. This isn't a coincidence. It's a business strategy. The poorer the neighborhood, the richer the profit. But the result? Instead of uplifting these communities, gambling extracts from them, draining money that could go toward food, rent, or education. Gambling doesn't solve poverty, it monetizes it. The casino in your pocket. Once, gambling meant dressing up and heading to a casino. Now, it's in your pocket, and it's always open. The rise of online gambling and sports betting apps has completely transformed the industry. And the economics behind it, genius and dangerous. Want to bet on who scores the next goal? There's a button for that. Want to spin a digital slot machine at 3 a.m. from your couch? Done. Want to gamble with crypto anonymously with no limits? Welcome to Web3 casinos. Since 2018, when the US legalized sports betting, the industry exploded. Over $120 billion has been wagered through mobile platforms in just a few years. And it's not just the US. In India, online betting is booming, despite being largely unregulated. In Nigeria, entire youth communities bet daily on European football matches. In China, underground digital gambling is a multi-billion-dollar black market. Here's what makes digital gambling especially dangerous. It never sleeps, 24/7 access. It's personal. Algorithms learn your habits and target your weaknesses. It's gamified, constant dopamine hits, just like social media. It's frictionless, no cash, no pain, just one more tap. What used to be a rare trip to Vegas has become a daily ritual, or worse, a daily trap. Because in digital gambling, the line between game and addiction is intentionally blurred. The politics of the jackpot. What happens in Vegas doesn't always stay in Vegas. It often ends up in Capitol Hill. Gambling isn't just a business, it's a political force. And behind the scenes, it's guarded by one of the most powerful lobbying machines in modern economics. In the US alone, the gambling industry spends tens of millions every year to lobby lawmakers. In countries like Australia, the UK, and Italy, casinos and betting companies fund political campaigns, sponsor sports teams, and influence regulation. Their goal? Protect the house, delay new regulations, oppose limits on advertising, block restrictions on online betting, and control the narrative, turning a dangerous addiction into a harmless pastime. In 2020, while thousands of people were losing money in online betting during lockdowns, lobbyists were pushing for expanded licenses and fewer restrictions. Let's be clear, this isn't just about business, it's about power. Just like big tobacco or big pharma, big gambling has its lobbyists, its lawyers, its media connections. And when reform threatens profits, they know exactly which doors to knock on. So, when you wonder, why doesn't the government do more to stop gambling harm? Remember, in politics, the House pays well.
Growth or illusion? Supporters of gambling often paint a shiny picture. It creates jobs, boosts tourism, funds public services, and yes, on the surface, some numbers look impressive. New casinos equals construction jobs. Dealers, managers, hotel staff equals long-term employment. Gambling taxes equals government revenue. Las Vegas is a prime example. The entire city thrives on the gambling economy. Macau? The same. Atlantic City tried to copy the model. But here's the economic twist. While casinos bring in money, they also suck money out of local communities. Studies show that for every $1 earned by a casino, the surrounding economy loses up to $3 in social costs. Personal bankruptcies, mental health treatment, crime and law enforcement, family breakdowns. Not to mention, money spent on gambling is often recycled spending. People aren't spending more. They're just shifting money away from local businesses. Instead of eating out, they buy lottery tickets. Instead of saving for education, they gamble on sports. And there's a deeper problem. Most casino profits come from a small percentage of heavy gamblers, many of whom are addicted. So the business model isn't built on fun or entertainment, it's built on extraction. So, is gambling good for the economy? Short term? Maybe. Long term? Only for the house. The winners who lost everything. Not all stories in gambling are about numbers. Some are about people. Like Evelyn Adams. She won the lottery twice in New Jersey. A statistical miracle, $5.4 million in total. 10 years later, broke, living in a trailer. All the money gone. To bad investments, gifts, gambling, and the illusion that luck never runs out. Or Terrence Watanabe, a wealthy businessman who lost over $200 million in a single year gambling in Las Vegas. He was so addicted, some casinos let him bet $300,000 per hand. There's also Callie Rogers, the UK's youngest lottery winner at just 16. She won £1.9 million, and within a few years it was all gone. Drugs, parties, shopping, bad relationships. Now, she campaigns to raise the legal gambling age. These aren't exceptions, they're a pattern. Because gambling doesn't just take your money, it feeds on hope, overconfidence, and denial. And even for the lucky few who do win, research shows that within 5 years over 70% of jackpot winners lose it all. Why? Because when money comes from chance, you treat it like it came from nothing, and it often goes back to nothing. The ultimate illusion. In the world of gambling, the odds are never truly even. It's a system designed not for winners, but for the house, for governments, for corporations, for those who understand how the game is played and rigged. Yes, gambling can bring short-term revenue. Yes, it can create jobs. Yes, some people win. But for most, it offers the illusion of control in a system that's built to make them lose.
Let's recap. It drains wealth from the poorest, fuels addiction and economic collapse, thrives through digital dopamine traps, and survives because powerful forces want it to. But here's the biggest lesson. Gambling is not just a personal choice. It's an economic strategy, and for many, a trap disguised as opportunity. So next time you see flashing lights and a spinning wheel, ask yourself, is this luck or is it leverage? Because in economics, just like in gambling, if you don't understand the game, you're probably the product. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the economics of gambling, hit that subscribe button, because at EconoBytes 28, money talks, and the truth always finds the light.